Hello, welcome to Nattys Crafts. I'm Natalie and I'll be doing all the crafting today. Today we're doing another challenge. This is the DIY wood project hosted by OK at Home DIY, co-hosted by Marsha's Mush and Stuff. So let's go ahead and go see what we're going to make. We're going to make this wood lantern and it is literally all wood. Here's a look at some of the stuff you're going to need for this project. Basically just craft sticks and wood blocks from Dollar Tree. And we're going to start out just by putting the walls of the lantern together. So we're going to glue 4 tumbling tower blocks together the long way and on the flat side, if that makes sense. Now I am using all wood glue on this project so that it does last a long time. You could potentially use hot glue, but just keep in mind it will fall apart over time. So again, we're going to do 4 blocks in each row. Now I made my lantern 5 rows tall, so I needed 20 of these long blocks of 4. Now I'm supporting the bottom of the blocks with popsicle sticks. Again, maybe a little unnecessary, but this is what I did again because I don't want it to just fall apart, next week. So I am wood gluing popsicle sticks down to the bottom of those blocks. And I made a little mistake here. I should have put the popsicle sticks all the way to the end of each set of those 4 blocks for the feet that are going to go on there later on. But I didn't think of that at this time, so I made mine a little short. But if you make them the full length of the blocks, that would be better. And then once we've got all of our 4 set blocks together, we're going to glue them together. Now here I use the Fix-All adhesive. So the Fix-All adhesive should sit for a little bit before you try to glue the items together. So I put it on the wood, I then let it sit, and now I'm putting them all together. And we're literally just going to make a square. So that's how we're going to make this. And we're going to do this again for all 5 sets of those frames. And then we're going to prepare the feet. So I'm using these barbecue skewers from Dollar Tree. And those happen to fit perfectly into the beads that I'm using, which will make them more sturdy so they're not wobbling all around, because I'm going to connect them together. And I use 16 of these little shortened dowel skewer stick things, so I cut out 16 of those. Actually, I think I cut out way more than that, but whatever. And then I'm going to go ahead and paint or stain my beads as well as those little sticks. Now the beads, you probably could have used less, but I wanted my lantern to be super big, so that's what I did. And to stain it, I'm using this, I thought it was paint, metallic paint, but it's actually stain called barnwood, and that's what I'm using. And we're just gonna jiggle those around a little bit in a bag. Now when I did this, they had a nice look to them. They didn't look painted, they didn't look normally stained. They looked like they actually had texture to them because of how I did it. I did it very quickly and with not a lot of thought. I guess sometimes that's good, I don't know. And then here's where you see where I figured out I messed up, and so then I had to fill in all the empty corners so that my block or my beads would sit on there nicely. So I'm just hot gluing. Here I am using hot glue to just fill in the corners that didn't have any popsicle sticks in the corners. Alright, and then I decided I did need a bottom on my lanterns because it's going to have feet on the bottom of it, and so I want to be able to put stuff in the lantern without it being on the ground or on the table. So I'm using these giant craft sticks from Walmart, and they're literally called giant because they are huge. And we're just going to cut those down to fit on the bottom and then wood glue those together. And I'm leaving just a little bit of a gap in between each because there wasn't enough space to fit another stick. So I'm just leaving a little gap in between each. Which did look good, by the way. I liked it. And then we're going to start attaching the feet. So on the bottom row, I'm using just one bead. I'm going to use some wood glue on half of it and a little bit of wood hot glue on the other half. And we're just going to stick those down in each corner. And the opening of the bead is at the bottom, and I guess that would be at the top. And so we're just going to attach all of those beads on. And then we're going to make the feet for the other levels. So here is where we're going to put 2 beads together on each of those little sticks that we made earlier. So basically just connecting them together. And again, this will just help so that they're not so wobbly and bobbly and you're not worried about whether they're straight or not. They're on there on the stick. That's what they are. Now here's how it would look if you just left it like that. Did nothing more, just glued on the levels and did nothing more. Which is how I was going to do it originally. But for some reason I didn't like it. And so I went back and I painted black. Because if you have seen any of my videos, I love black. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to start with that bottom level, and I am painting, this happens to be the bottom here you're seeing, and I am painting the bottom. And on the bottom I did just do a very rough paint, so it's not a perfect solid black like it will be on the other levels. But so we're just going to go ahead and paint that black, and then I'm going to paint every other level black and leave the others the natural wood. I thought that would help give it a little bit of interest and not be so plain. And again, we're just going to glue on those beads, half hot glue, half wood glue. And again, it is wood hot glue, if that matters to anyone. And we're just going to glue those on in each corner. And here too, if you wanted your lantern a little shorter, you could have made these just 1 bead high instead of 2 beads. It would have brought it together a little bit shorter. And so when you're doing the layer that's going to sit on top, you are going to, again, just put the wood glue down first, then the wood hot glue. And it did make it fairly sturdy because that wood hot glue, of course, will be the instant hold that we're going to need for it to sit still. Once you put the layer on, you want to push the feet out a little bit so they're at the corners of each frame or of each level, if that makes sense. And then I am just wiping off any of the extra glue that sticks out. And that's it. That's it. I mean, we're going to do that multiple times, obviously, to make all of our levels. But that's it. Now, this is a project you could do so many different ways. I mean, you could paint it in multiple different colors. You could do it different heights and different sizes. You could use less wood blocks to make it smaller. There's a million different choices, which is, I think, why I really enjoyed this one, because I could make it so many different ways. Now, you do use a lot of tumbling towers, just so that you know. I'll have to warn you of that, because now I can't find them at any of my local Dollar Trees. But anyway, and here's how it would look if you didn't do any painting, if you did want to just leave the natural wood. It does look good, it's just not what I was after this time around. And I'll have you go ahead and visit the host and co-host, OK at Home DIY, and Marsha's Mush Stuff, as well as the wood project playlist that's down below. I thank you so much for stopping by Nattys Crafts today and enjoying this craft with me. I would sure appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up, as well as leave a comment. Let me know how you think I did. And then I appreciate you so much if you go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell. And to all of you that have subscribed, I really do appreciate it. Taking that second of time means the world to me. So thank you so much. Y'all have a great one.